Welcome to Creative Movies Recapped for another recap, Trench 11. Be aware of spoilers ahead. Trench 11 is a 2017 horror thriller movie. The setting takes place near the end of the First World War in 1918. In the Western Front in France, a Canadian tunneler, Barton, digs 78 feet beneath the German spot to save some tunnelers trapped underground for 7 days. He accidentally frightens a survivor who ends up screaming and alerts the Germans. The Germans blow up the charges, trapping Barton underground for 12 days. The scene flashes forward to 3 months later in the British headquarters, where Major Jennings and Dr. Priest explain their findings to Colonel Ashcroft. Jennings remarks that the Germans began constructing an underground bunker an year ago. In a forest, they've dug 3 to 4 levels, 100 feet deep. The German commander of the base, Rainer, has been weaponizing chemicals and diseases. Jennings and the doctor believe that Rainer could be creating more of the weapons in Trench 11. They request to go and find some evidence on what Rainer has been developing in Trench 11, as the Germans tried but failed to destroy the evidence. Colonel Ashcroft gives them an American escort and allows them to take Barton, who is now on his first leave after digging himself out underground. Barton is also dating Veronique, a French woman. Barton is forcefully dragged out to accompany Major Jennings and the doctor to Trench 11, along with the American escorts who include Pronger, Kelly, and Cooper. They get to the trench and discover dead German soldiers. Meanwhile, in the German 5th Army headquarters, General Offels orders Captain Müller and Rainer to destroy all evidence of the experiments in Trench 11 to prevent the Allies from discovering it. Captain Müller and Rainer are on conflicting sides as Müller is disgusted by Rainer's work. Barton discovers an entrance that was spared after 2 other entrances were destroyed. Before going down, Jennings explains their mission is to observe and collect any evidence. Jennings further assures them that they would not encounter any resistance in the tunnel, as the base is abandoned and the risks were assessed, but Kelly does not seem convinced. In the tunnel, they notice bloody handprints on the wall and a sealed door which can only lock from outside and was built to keep people inside. They further notice a German lying with bruises on the tip of his fingers, which proves he tried to climb out but failed. The German suddenly wakes and warns them against opening the door as they will all die. Jennings presses the soldiers to open the door and ignore the German, while the German begs them to kill him. Cooper ends up accidentally shooting the German. Having accessed the tunnel inside, they go deeper and are suddenly attacked by a crazy and violent man who vomits on Kelly. The crazy man rips a grenade off Pronger. Barton tries to toss the grenade away but ends up exploding, collapsing the tunnel they came in through. Jennings orders Cooper to escort Barton to look for an exit and be back in 3 hours, while Pronger, the doctor, Jennings, and Kelly try to investigate further and gather evidence. Jennings further assures them that a team of engineers is alert in case they don't find an exit or they fail to get back in the headquarters the next day. Jennings, Pronger, Kelly, and the doctor discover a hospital room, and in it a map. While searching for an exit, Cooper and Barton are attacked by violent men and Cooper is stabbed in the process, but the two manage to fight them and escape. Meanwhile, Jennings discovers the labs from the map and decides to head there. Pronger is attacked by a violent man but manages to shoot him, alerting the rest. They further notice a worm crawling out of the gunshot wound. The doctor performs an autopsy on the man and discovers more parasitic worms in the man's body, and further remarks that the worms are the cause of the violent and insane behavior. He concludes that the disease is not natural but is engineered. Pronger and Kelly refuse to go further in search of evidence and suggest they find an exit and leave the trench. Jennings disagrees, and while arguing, they alert the Germans, whose mission is to destroy the evidence. Jennings and Pronger are shot to death while Kelly and the doctor are captured. Meanwhile, Burton and Cooper find an exit but are also captured by the Germans. After losing some of his men, including his tunneler, to the infected, Mueller recruits Burton, Kelly, and Cooper to help reactivate the charges to blow up the tunnel and everything in it. In exchange, they would be spared. The doctor refuses to accompany them, claiming he wishes to investigate the disease further. The doctor remains under guard with Rainer, who then begins interrogating the doctor. The doctor discovers that the parasitic worm was designed to devastate Allied livestock. The disease accidentally went out of control, and the Germans have tried to seal the base to stop it from spreading. Rainer remarks that he started breeding a more vigorous parasite. The fever caused by the infestation changes the personality, and the host just wants to kill. Rainer further interrogates the doctor about the British hideout on the next attack, who refuses to talk. Rainer further interrogates the doctor about the British hideout after the next attack, who refuses to talk. Rainer and his guards torture him and kill him. Kelly turns to the infected and violently attacks Cooper and ends up killing him, but Burton shoots Kelly to death. With Burton planning to leave the trench, Mueller explains that he is the only one who knows how to activate the explosives. He further explains that the outbreak cannot be controlled and Germany lost the war, but if the disease gets out, then there will be no peace. He urges him to save other lives out there, and Burton agrees to wire the explosives. He further reveals that the infection only transmits through blood, saliva, and other body fluids, and the symptoms begin with a fever leading to a violent behavior. Mueller reveals that the order was given to destroy the compound. They were able to seal the base and contain the infected, but the main charge failed to blow up because Rainer intentionally disconnected the charge. Rainer then orders his guards to prepare the new samples and be ready to move in an hour. He orders the guards to seal the lower level and make sure no one gets out, including Mueller and his prisoners. Mueller finds a dead wire cord, enabling Burton to wire the explosives, but has to bring it to the second level to charge it and then back up to the main service. Meanwhile, Rainer's guards release a poisonous gas, but Mueller and Burton manage to avoid largely inhaling it. They notice an accelerate shift on the map, which they plan to use to get them up to the main level to access the main service. They are attacked by an infected man who badly breaks Mueller's foot, but Burton manages to fight him off. With Mueller's leg making it hard for him to walk, he sacrifices and stays behind to start the electricity in exactly 20 minutes as Burton gets the code to the next level. Burton is ambushed by an infected man but manages to kill him and escape. After getting the explosives ready, Burton tries leaving the base but is shot by Rainer and his guard, who begin torturing him. Mueller then starts the electricity, blowing up the base. The two confront each other and Rainer's guard is killed in the process. A sample of a designed disease falls off Rainer's pocket. Rainer manages to reach out for it but trips and falls, accidentally injecting the sample in his eye. The base then collapses, but Burton fights and gets out. The film ends as Burton limps away and sees a vision of Veronique, his lover. If you enjoyed this recap, please subscribe to watch more.